Benga was an orphan who was found crying in a basket in Edos Green. Mrs. Tosin, who was Mr. Nelson's wife, discovered the baby early one morning as she was on her way to the market. She took Benga home, named him, and raised him as her own, as she had no biological children. Mrs. Tosin passed away 5 years later. Mr. Nelson married Bissy after his wife's death. However, Bissy mistreated Benga, forcing him to work excessively throughout the day without feeding him. Whenever Mr. Nelson comes back home, Bissy pretended to love Benga and treated him kindly. Mr. Nelson noticed that Benga had become frequently ill, which was unusual for him. Benga tried to explain the situation to his father, but Mr. Nelson refused to believe him, blinded by his love for Bissy. One day, Bissy sent Benga on an errand to buy foodstuffs at the market without giving him money for transportation. As Benga walked, he grew tired, sat down, and contemplated death as an escape from his miserable life. He even considered taking his own life. Just then, two preachers approached Benga and shared God's love with him. Initially, Benga was too frustrated and depressed to listen, but their words eventually changed his perspective. The preachers began disciple Benga. A few months later, Bissy attempted to rape Benga, thinking her husband will be back home in the evening. However, Mr. Nelson had installed cameras in every room, suspicious of Bissy's behavior due to Benga's previous complaints. The cameras caught the entire incident. When Mr. Nelson reviewed the footage, he saw Bissy's attempt to rape Benga and immediately called the police to arrest her. Benga grew closer to God and began disciple others, including his father.